Okay, so I have a few things, nothing too crazy. So Disney kind of put out a I think it's 7 year, right? 7 year plan of their what's going to be coming out basically in the streaming service. So I just kind of broke it down to mostly like this year, like what's coming out. So I don't know if I'm going to say right. Is it Tolkien? Is that how you say it?
Tolkien.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tolkien.
So that came out today, I believe. Yeah, I think it premiered today. And Aladdin is going to be their next one. Dark Phoenix, Toy Story 4 is coming out this year. Stuber or Stubber, I don't know how to. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well,
how to pronounce that one
yeah.
either.
I'm like, I don't know, but that's coming out. Lion King, Art of Racing in Rain, Ready or Not, Maleficent, which I'm excited about, Ford versus Ferrari, Frozen 2, and then of course the Star Wars, and then Spies in the Skies. So that's what's this year, and then 2020, some of the big ones. I think Little Mermaid was coming out. West Side was another one that was coming out. I pinpointed 2019 just because that's what's coming up soon, and then we'll just do a follow up when it gets closer. He's just gonna keep going, like we've already seen that. Yeah, so that was kind of the big thing with Disney this week, just getting their 7 year plans. Once they got to like 2023, they got a lot of stuff planned, but they don't have the names. Like there's gonna be Marvel movies coming, a lot of Disney movies, so they don't have like what it is. I forget which year they are talking about a new Indiana Jones as well.
Oh god.
Yeah. Hopefully it's better than the last one, but you know,
we've been saying that, like, maybe.
I mean,
I know Avatar is the big focus as well. They're gonna start having almost every year. I was like, oh wow.
Every other year, actually, because it's an interesting thing. They're going to be alternating between Avatar sequels and more Star Wars movies, actually.
Gotcha. Okay, so they're going to alternate them. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, that's going to be a big budget that they're going to have.
But the more interesting, another one of the interesting things that I noticed is they got a lot of, most of them are untitled, obviously, but there's like 10 untitled Disney live-action movies coming out in the next few years. There's like 4 or 5 Pixar movies slated to come out in this next 7 years. There's like, again, four or five Disney animated movies, non-Pixar Disney animated movies slated to come out in the next couple of years, and there's a lot of room for speculation, obviously.
Yeah, there definitely is.
And we know that, again, we don't know we know some of the Marvel movies that are coming out. We just don't know when they're going to be slotted into these untitled Marvel slots. But there's 8 Marvel movies slated to come out between next year and 2022.
Oof, that's a lot.
And that's actually only half of Phase 4. Because Phase 4 is slated to start in next year in 2020. The last movie for this year will be Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Spider-Man, yeah.
But then starting next year and moving till 2024 that's the timeline we got for Marvel Phase 4.
Gotcha. Nice. Well, like speaking of trailers that came out this week, so the new Spider-Man. I mean, basically, if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, I wouldn't watch the trailer for Spider-Man.
Get a big spoiler warning before it starts.
Yeah, Tom Holland is standing there at the beginning, like, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Endgame, don't watch this trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, but, I mean, I thought it looks interesting to me. It made me want to watch it, so...
Well, I'm gonna put a little bit of a spoiler warning right here, just so that people know, like, so that we can talk briefly about this trailer and about how Mysterio is from another Earth. And I find that interesting because they said basically the events of Endgame broke the universe more or less and made the universe branch off, made the multiverse basically.
Yeah.
So the Marvel multiverse is now officially confirmed. I keep having an argument with somebody on my Discord who says, "But they had Spider-Man, but they had Spider-Verse already," and I'm like, "That wasn't Marvel who did that. That was just a Sony one-off." But now we have Spider-Man again, this time in the MCU, officially introducing the Marvel multiverse, which is interesting. And we're getting a bit of an interesting thing with Nick Fury, because he came back obviously at the end of Endgame, and it's kind of like a reflection of Iron Man at the very beginning of the MCU, where in the post-credits trailer for Iron Man, Nick Fury is inside Tony Stark's home when Tony Stark comes in, and he's like, hard man to get a hold of, which is something he basically says in the trailer, and it's very much mirroring Iron Man in that at the end of Iron Man, Nick Fury comes to Tony Stark's house, and Tony Stark comes in, and Fury says, "You're a hard man to get a hold of. You're not alone. You're part of a bigger universe now." And how Spider-Man: Homecoming, you see Fury saying, "Hey, we're not alone anymore. We're part, and you're a hard man to get a hold of," because he's been rejecting Fury's calls. And to be honest, that's not really a smart move considering who Fury is.
So he knew it was Nick Fury if he was rejecting these calls.
Yes.
He was still doing it.
Yes.
Damn kids.
Damn kids.
But so we find out that obviously he introduces Spider-Man to Mysterio, and tells him he's from another Earth. Basically, the events of Endgame and Infinity War basically broke the universe, made it branch off, and created the multiverse. And Mysterio's kind of set up as a possible ally for Spider-Man, as a possible good guy. I don't believe it in the fucking slightest. Because we all know, if you know anything about Mysterio, he's a con man. That's basically what he is. His powers are generally fake, and it's all stage magic, and it's all smoke and mirrors and stuff like that. And the whole he coming here to help our universe while trying to find a way to save his universe, I think it's all a bunch of BS. We'll find out, obviously, when it happens.
Well, I wonder, how does he prove that he's from another universe?
I don't know. That's a good question.
What if that's the con? He says he's from another universe and he's not.
Well, I'm sure S.H.I.E.L.D. probably has a way to at least check like certain things, considering all the stuff that they've had access to over the years. But it's a very good question. Don't know, really. But yeah, so it's an interesting thing. The reflection of between the first Iron Man movie and this latest Spider-Man movie, you can definitely see it in what's going on with Fury and such.
Well, wouldn't they? Okay, if you're opening it up to a larger universe, where does like the X-Men stuff?
Considering mutants don't exist in the Marvel MCU as it stands right now, we have Wanda and we had her brother Pietro, but they were created using the Mind Stone. Keep in mind, using Loki's staff. But if there's a lot of theories like the multiverse would be a way to bring in the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, because they obviously don't exist in the world the MCU takes place in.
Okay, so that's how they're gonna probably incorporate. They're going to incorporate like all the acquired Fox property through this whole.
Most likely, that's the major speculation, and that was the major speculation before this trailer even hit, and this kind of like just added fuel to the fire, really.
And then like after the DCU goes down in flames, they're like they'll be able to get like
they'll get a bargain.
Superman and Batman will be in a Marvel too. It's gonna be like that at some point.
Yeah.
Disney might get a bargain when they buy Warner Brothers.
God.
Yeah. I'm telling you, they're gonna have them all one day. All of them.
Eventually. I'm personally looking forward to it. We talked about this previously. I'm more than okay with just Disney buying everything. I just don't care. If they keep putting out the quality entertainment that they have been putting out for the last decade or so since they've acquired Marvel and these other studios, I don't care. Give it to me. Feed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. So
And-
the other like. Oh, go ahead.
People have been wondering why we haven't gotten a Hulk movie. And I actually finally read something about it that made me remember, oh yeah, that's another Marvel property that Marvel doesn't actually own the movie rights to, because the Incredible Hulk is owned by Universal. That's why there's never been a solo Hulk movie since The Incredible Hulk, which was made by Universal, and that's why it kind of isn't part of the MCU.
Yeah. Well, now he's like Hulk Banner who dabs. So.
He's everybody is calling him Professor Hulk.
Yeah, Professor.
And I am more than okay with that title for him.
So I take it in that form, he's not nearly as strong as he would be. If
No,
he was,
he has
literally,
he has full access to all of his powers while
Yeah.
still maintaining the humanity and knowledge of Banner. He is literally the best of both Banners, I guess you could say.
Okay, if that's how it is, all right. I just did they? I mean, I saw the, I saw the bootleg, right? And I guess I thought he said he found a balance, but when I hear balance, I don't. Did he say best of both?
I think it was more like he found a balance because he couldn't be either. I mean, like, he struggled with just being Hulk, and he had no control over Hulk as, like, the green raging monster. And then sometimes when he was just Banner, he couldn't, like, fully initiate Hulk. So there was no, like, control over one personality.
He felt useless in battle as Banner, and he
Yeah.
felt useless to the Avengers as Hulk without having his advanced intellect that Banner has. So he's like, during the time skip in Avengers Endgame, he said that he experimented for years during the time skip to try and find a way to bring Hulk and him together, and thus we get Professor Hulk.
There was this part towards the end of Endgame when it was like Thanos he basically did a time warp into the future, and there was just like he just blew the fuck out of like that Avengers headquarters, wherever they were.
Yeah, we'll get to more Avengers Endgame. We're getting way off track again.
I don't know, it was just a point where it just seemed like, well, it doesn't matter. If Hulk's under there, he should just be able to bust himself out from under all that rubble, and it seemed like he was struggling down there.
Well, he was trying to hold up an entire building so that the other guys could get out, but yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about the other trailer that hit this week.
Have any of you guys seen the It trailer?
Yes.
Yes, I even made the comment on it. It's wonderfully disturbing.
Yes, which I love. Because, like, I hate when movies really just rely on jump scares, but it was so, like, even just in the trailer, disturbing. Like, with the fucking creepy old lady and the shadows.
It was a slow build too. Like, yeah, at first it's like, oh, it's just somebody moved into her old place. It's no big deal. Then it just slowly, like, you see that the old lady like peeking around the corner.
That shit, like, creeps me the fuck out.
When then it was that, like, you see her like creep across the doorway.
Like, the creepiness is so creepy.
And then all of a sudden there was a naked old lady running at her. But
yeah.
Also the segment where they're having tea, talking, and the old lady's like, nobody ever dies.
Yep.
Nobody ever really dies in Derry.
And she's just fucking staring at her. I'm like, yo, you need to run, get out right now.
And then she started being animated again. She like stared her down, like with that smile, holding their teacup, her like 5-10 seconds, and it was like, oh boy.
No thanks. Yeah, no thanks.
Well, in the 1990 version, when they're drinking the tea, like as they're drinking the tea, like the woman drinks it, and then like the first reveal that really gives away that something's wrong is there's something wrong with her teeth. Like, her teeth look like terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then Beverly looks at her tea and it's like blood, and she drops her cup, and then the old lady like starts to gradually like morph into like her father, really, because that's what she's afraid of, is her father. That's what she dreads the most.
Yeah.
And you know, just call back to The Shining with the naked old lady, and when she was like sitting there, like her, I don't know, her shirt or something was a little open. It looked like she had like decomposing.
Yeah, like little spots of decomposing, like blistered skin or something like that. And also, there were flies on the window indicating that death, basically. Death and decay.
In the room. And she was saying like, oh, my father came to this country with $14 in his pocket, and he joined the circus. And it's like,
that was the first moment where you realized something was off.
Yeah.
And also, that woman would have to be so damn old for her to be in that photo. And I always thought like that, you know, Pennywise the clown would go back just like really like into like the 1800s or something. So that woman, if she claimed who she was, for real, she would be dead. Like, you know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
Pennywise is a shapeshifter. Takes all sorts of different forms. He knows what you're afraid of. And Pennywise...
He's basically a Bogart from Harry Potter.
Pennywise was like... There was a Pennywise the clown, and the monster just took the form of the clown, because I guess it was attracting a lot of kids, and that's what the monster likes, children to scare. That was... Yeah, it's gonna have was it Jessica Chastain, the redhead? Is that her name? Chastain.
I don't know. Maybe
I forget her name. I can't get her name right. I think it might be Jessica Chastain. That's her name. But yeah, it's gonna have Bill Hader from SNL. He's gonna be like the smart ass Eddie. Like in the first one, he was just rude as F. All like the comic relief was coming from him, and oh yeah, okay. It was Richie. Richie was the funny one. Eddie was the one who had the mother that was like overbearing.
Yeah.
Munchausen syndrome. She was like keeping him drugged and dependent.
Yeah, like a bubble kid.
Yes.
Did you
Kittens
guys
is
get to
good.
the end of the trailer when like you finally see Pennywise and he says hello? But, like,
Yeah.
all I could hear though was Winnie the Pooh saying
Hello.
yeah. I was
What?
like, dude, that was it's watch it again and think of Winnie the Pooh and that's all you're gonna hear now. It was Winnie the Pooh.